Hi, so this is the last video, for now at least, and I just wanted to go through all of these tabs at the top and just make sure I go over all of the things that I can think of on Excel that you might find useful. Just some random notes on Excel, I guess, is this last video. So we're going to start on the Home tab. I'm going to show you a couple of things. First of all, this is general fonts. This is a useful thing because you can put in borders. So if you wanted to print out this chart, it is not going to show you these borders if they're light blue like this. However, if you go here, you can add borders. So I'm going to actually hand drawn a border, and I can draw in a border like that. You can also go to borders, and I want to do all borders, and I can go like that and click, and now all my borders, and now when it prints the lovely little chart with all the borders filled in, you can play with that. So that's a useful tool. And there's erase borders, so you can also go like this, and it erased all your borders. And undo is always a useful button, and redo is also a useful button. Wrap text is useful, and so is merge and center. Wrap text, what that'll do is if, for example, you have an annotation, it's really long, it's, Dory ate a lot of birthday cake and got a belly ache. Can't spell today. If that's your note, obviously you can't see it here. So one thing you can do is click wrap text, and it'll just make it so that it fits within the size of this box. You could also fix that problem by just making the box bigger. But I don't really want to do that. I want to keep my box small. So wrap text will help you with that. Another thing you can do is, let's say it happens to be around vacation time, and you had 4 days of vacation, and you want this to say vacation for these 4 days. You highlight those days, you click merge and center. Now all of these have vacation on them. So that's also a useful tool. This will help you with, if you didn't want this to actually be the date and you wanted it to be a number, you can switch it to a number. Dollar signs, all kinds of stuff. And you can change the way the date is too by clicking on this box right here, which will give you more options, and then you can have the date formatted differently. So maybe I don't want the year, but I just want the date, and then it'll show me just the date. That's useful. Right here, this will help you with inserting. If you want to insert cells or rows, boom, that's a new row. And then also deleting rows. And then finally, this is really useful. So let me give you an example. So if you have a student who really rarely has behaviors, and so let's say you're doing data for 10 days, and they have a behavior on the 8th, they have one behavior on the 8th, and then you have 2 behaviors on the 13th, and that's all you have, but you need behavior data for all of these days. Instead of having to type in 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, all of these zeros, an easy way I found to do that is to highlight the region that I want zeros, and then go to Find and Select and click Replace. And so what we're finding empty spaces, so I'm not typing in anything. And then I want to replace those empty spaces with 0, and then replace all. And boom, you got zeros. So that's useful on this page. Then you can close that up. So I'm done with this page. I'm going to go to insert. I'll show you some cool stuff. If you want to, you can insert a table. I do not like inserting tables, so I'm not going to show you, but have fun with that. Insert, you can do pictures, shapes are useful sometimes. There are all your graphs, text box I've shown you. So these are all useful things that you can play with. They're fun. Page layouts, orientation if you want your graph to be longer. You can change the orientation to landscape. You'll see it down here. This is page layout, page break preview. This will show you, like, so these dotted lines show you where it'll print. So right here, this is, obviously these behavior graphs aren't going to fit. But now, behavior 1 will fit in. There. And I can make it just as big as the page. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my usual screen. So that's useful. Anything else on here that's really useful? Not really. Formulas are really good for if you need to find an average and you want to do it quickly, or a sum. So let's go back up to here. So let's say I want to find exactly how many of behavior 1 I had this month. So you could go and you could look at it and be like, well, on this day I had 4 behaviors, and this day I had 3 behaviors, and soon you can add it up in your head. Or you could do, like, if you're really lazy, 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus so on and so forth. And as you see in Excel, if you want to do the math in Excel, you need to put the equal sign before, and it'll calculate it for you. If you do the equal sign after, so let's do 4 plus 5 plus 6, 5, I guess, equals, it's just going to show you. So if you wanted to actually do the math, you need to put the equal sign before. 5 plus 5, 10. Good. And it'll show you your formula up here in this box. You can edit it also up here. So maybe I want to do 5 plus 5 times 5. Whoa, it works. So as you'll see, the asterisk, that's times, the bar is divided by, and you guys should all know minus and plus, just making sure we all know these things. But so the easiest way to do the sum is you can go here to auto sum and click sum, and it creates this formula for you. So SUM, all caps, and then the parentheses, and then it shows you this box, and you can click and drag, and then click enter, and it should give you the sum. You can also just type it in. So you could just type in, once you memorize it, equals sum, and then you always want to put that parentheses, and then drag, and then parentheses on the outside. That should be your sum. If you want to do an average, if you want to know the average of the month, like what was the average amount of behaviors, again, there is a formula for it. So you can either go to formulas, and it should show you here under auto sum, average. What? Where'd you go, average? Oh, and there's your formula is equals and then average, and then you can highlight all you want. So my average this month was 3. or you can just type it in. I'm pretty sure you can just type in AVG. So you can just do AVG. Let's see if that works. I'm not sure it'll actually work. We'll see. Nope, doesn't like that. Let's see, it'll do this if it's confused. So yeah, you have to do average. Boom, average. Okay? Useful sum, and as you can see, there's lots of different equations that it will help you with. You can do max, which is the maximum. So over here, this should come out as 4, because our maximum number is 4. But yeah, you can play with all of these. These are fun. Let's move on to the next tab, data. I actually don't know how to use any of these things, so have fun with that. Review will give you your spell check. You can just click on spelling. So my name is never in the dictionary. You can ignore it or change it. And I'll also do grammar check and their spelling. There's a thesaurus that will help you out. And then a useful thing here under review that I like sometimes is I can write comments. You can find this under Word also. And so actually I'm going to show you. So it will comment on a specific box. So let's say I wanted to comment on this vacation. I click on vacation, I click new comments, and I can write down went to the Bahamas. And now every time I scroll over vacation, and you see there's the red arrow right here, every time I scroll over this red arrow, this comment should pop up, and I can see that on my vacation I went to the Bahamas. If you want to get rid of it, just click on the box, and you can delete it, or you can edit it. I'm going to delete that because it's really unnecessary. You can also, so let's say we add a new comment, I actually went to France. That's where I want to go. France, and absent, had the stomach bug. So you can click here and it'll show you all the comments you have. So that can be useful sometimes if you have a lot of stuff to tell yourself. If you are creating this data. Finally, view. I showed you freeze panes, very useful. Full screen, makes it full screen. To get rid of it, you have to go to escape, which should be on your keyboard. That'll get you out of full screen. But yeah, so that is Excel for you. I think I've gone through everything. Yeah, if you have any questions, Google can answer most of your questions. And Excel also can answer questions. It should have a help box under one of these tabs. Somewhere there should be something that says help, and it will help you out. I don't see it right now, but you guys are all smart. Have fun, enjoy Excel. Thanks for watching. Bye.